Hi, welcome to Go Far Girl. Thanks for joining us today. We have a good show for you today, and I'm really excited to introduce you to Ayla. Ayla is a photographer, she's a veteran, and she's a studio owner who accidentally turned a work trip into a sisterhood. What started as business logistics with her all woman team evolved quickly into something deeper: shared vulnerability, unexpected growth, and an unshakable trust in each other. So, Ayla's here to share what happens when you take your team on the road, let go of the plan, and discover that real transformation happens somewhere in the messy middle. Thanks for hanging out with us today, Ayla. I'm so excited to have you.
Of course, I appreciate you having me. I'm so excited. It's
Yeah,
gonna be so
I've
much
been
fun.
reading through your story, and I'm like, I've got to dig more into this. And there are some questions I'm going to answer, even though you've said there are things you don't talk about. So we got to dig into the juicy details.
Yes.
But before we do, I'm just curious, um, what is your like number one bucket list travel item or location?
So mine has been Scotland for like ever. Yeah, I really want to go. So we actually are going though. So we released our Scotland destination shoots about a month ago and they booked in 5 days.
Heck yeah.
So we are going for my birthday next year, next May, and I'm so excited because my second one was Iceland and I've gotten to do that one already. So now I get to move it like top bucket list one.
Oh my gosh, Scotland, this I could talk about this for weeks. It is like the most, I don't know what is in the air, if it's some sort of like drug or like Scottish spell, but you just get there and you're there for like 2 seconds and you're like, yep, this is my favorite place on earth. And then you never
Yes.
stop thinking about it again. Like, and it's weird that you said Scotland because I don't know what I must have said about Scotland recently, but for the last week, my entire TikTok has been Scotland. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to book a trip. I'm going to do it.
It's
I'm
telling you
about to
have to
book a
go.
trip. It is, where are you guys going? All
So
over or just
we
Edinburgh?
so we are gonna go. We're gonna fly into Edinburgh. Edinburgh. I don't can't.
It's like Edinburgh, but
Edinburgh. Okay.
it's, yeah, it's
So
hard.
we're gonna fly in there, and then we're about 2 hours east in Innilen, I believe. We
Okay.
found a beautiful Airbnb we're gonna go
Ooh.
to, and our clients. This is the first time we're having clients stay with us at the
Ooh.
Airbnb, and then they get half a day of photo shoots at the Airbnb, and then all of them booked a package that they get half a day where we go out and find somewhere to photograph. And so they're still working on figuring out where they want to go and everything like that, but we're gonna go wherever they want to go and do a bunch of stuff.
Oh my gosh. The I'll send you some really pretty pictures and some cool places that you might
Yes.
want to go to because
Oh, I would love that.
oh my gosh, yeah, I could. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get off course because you mentioned my trigger word.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to go. And I'm worried that I'm gonna love it too. And my
You are.
sister just did a DNA test and she's 30% Scottish and I'm like, "Who's 30% Scottish?" So I haven't done mine yet and I'm like, "Okay, I get to go." And I know our family's from there, so it'll be like this whole thing.
If you go to the castle in Edinburgh, they have you can see like the crown jewels, and then at the bottom of this like little museum at the castle, they have like a genealogy place where if you give
Oh,
them your name, they will look you up and tell you like what clan your family was from, and then they'll
that's so
even like
cool.
print out like this whole like official like Scottish decree thing of like,
Oh, that's so
so
cool.
it's cool. But yeah, they'll look up and see like how where your which clan your family originated from, which is really super cool too.
Oh, I'll have to do that because I've been trying to do the research and I'm just like I don't think I have the time and like the capability to figure it out myself. So I'll have to go
Yeah,
and
let them do it, girl.
yeah.
They're into it and it's quicker for
Yay.
them.
Yeah.
So we'll get back on track. Maybe for a minute, but I'll probably still like be thinking about cows or something in Scotland. Would they call them coos? Hairy coos. I love
Oh my
them so
gosh.
much.
They're so
So
cute.
tell me what your life looked like before this trip we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
So kind of where you were and then what spurred the trip, and then we'll hop into the trip.
Yeah, so we I mean, I was in the military, so I was enlisted in the military. I had a lot of I didn't have a great childhood as far as like trauma from a specific parent, and then joined the military, and then was in a really abusive relationship. Got pregnant, had my daughter, got out of that relationship, got out of the military. I was medically retired by them, and then met my current husband, and we started the studio. And like the studio, I tried for years to get the studio going and it didn't really work until he came into the picture. And I think he balances me, like personality wise.
Love that.
He's very outgoing and I'm very soft spoken. And so I think that helped a lot. And then we decided we wanted to start doing trips. So we wanted really to pay for the trips we were going on for like education. So we go to St. Louis every year for a photography conference that I speak at, and we wanted to find a way to kind of cover that cost and to pull clients from there. And so we decided to kind of turn it into a work trip and trying to figure out the logistics of that. I didn't want to have to pay for multiple hotel rooms for each of my employees and things like that, but they needed them all to go. And so it kind of made this become a thing where we had to figure out what we were doing. And each trip has like made the experience even bigger for us.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, are you taking pictures like on location of places where you travel? Like you said in Scotland, people, you're taking pictures there.
So it depends on where we go. So,
Okay.
like St. Louis, we generally will do almost everybody who books there lives in St. Louis. And so they'll just do in the Airbnb, kind of like a studio set. And then same thing when we go to Anchorage and places like that. But we've done Vegas. In Vegas, they had the option of doing outdoor or indoor. So we did some at the dry lake bed out there. When we do anything international, we try to do outdoors because when you go international, if you're doing like in an Airbnb, you might as well just stay in the US. You, like there's not a lot of places that scream like, oh, I'm in London necessarily that are indoors. So
Right.
we're doing more fashion outdoors than we are boudoir indoors. So it kind of just depends on where we're going.
That's really cool though, because like when I travel, you see all these great places and you try to get good pictures of yourself in these really iconic places. And they're
Hmm.
just like, when you get home, you're like, well, no one's ever going to see that because that does not
Yeah.
look the way it did in my head. So being able to book something like that and have like a professional handle it for you is actually a really cool like souvenir for a trip. So I
Yeah.
love that idea. So, okay, so you were just getting going kind of with your studio, starting things
Hmm.
out, and you booked some kind of crazy like whirlwind
Hmm.
New York, Paris,
Yep.
Rome, London, all the things. Tell me about it.
Yep. So we started with these little small local trips, and then my mentor did this destinations unknown trip. So it was a whole bunch of photographers going on this destination trip, and so I decided instead of taking my husband, I'm going to take my product advisor with me. So my product advisor, Kat, she loves to travel too, and so we went New York, and then London, and then Paris, and then Rome. It might not have been in that order, but we went to all of them in like 2 weeks. And so it's me and so some places we stayed in a hotel, some places we stayed in an Airbnb, and there were like 20 of us together. But it really brought me and my product advisor a lot closer and made us like learn little things about each other. And I think it's like it was really cool because we were like, okay, well, we really only fought once, and it was just because we were overstimulated. Like
Yeah.
whoever, but then like finding each other's thing, and so now we know on trips like what she's in charge of and what I'm in charge of, and it just works so much smoother, and it just created like and then bringing in the other staff too, it just created a much better balance for us and just kind of brought us together. And I don't know, it was just kind of a weird experience
But you really
in the
get
right
to
space.
know someone when you travel, especially on an intense itinerary like
Yeah.
that. There's no hiding like who you are and all of the little things that come out. Like you said, when you're hungry, when you're tired, when you're overstimulated, and those things just add up. So I love when you find like your person that you can travel with. I just went on a trip with my friend Christina and we went to some really cool places. But one day, like literally all I wanted to do was rot in bed because I just don't want to do anything, but I don't want to disappoint Chris. And so I look over and she's just laying in bed on her phone. And I'm like, what do you want to do today? And she goes, honestly, kind of this. And I was like, oh my God, yes, let's just
Yes.
stay in bed all day. And
Yep.
so I was so excited to like have someone that just wanted to like chill, even though we were somewhere really cool. That was our perfect day, was just like hanging out,
Breathing.
texting
Yeah.
each other memes from like bed to bed. It was just like, I love
Yeah.
this day so much. So you went, it wasn't just you then and your product
Hmm.
advisor, you were with other people that you didn't know,
Yeah.
or did you also know them going into it?
So I kind of so some of them had gone on like other trips with me because the year prior we did Iceland as a trip, so it was just the one, it was just Iceland, and
Okay.
then we did just Italy as a trip. So I think there was one person from each of those trip on the trip, each of those trips on the trip. And so I kind of knew them. And then almost everybody who went was involved, like somehow affiliated with the conference that I speak at. So I've probably seen them before or in passing. Some of them were other speakers. So I kind of knew them. And so like we got closer with those people, but I think because I was sharing a room with Kat, especially like at the hotels and things like that, like there were times, Kat and I are washing our laundry in the bathtub together
Sure.
because
Yeah.
everybody else is trying, like, packed enough suitcases for everything. And we're like, I don't want to lug those suitcases to 4 different cities.
Absolutely.
So I think we were able to meet other people and kind of get to know their personalities and kind of shown a lot on those people too. But I think really the big part was us as a team coming together.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. What are some of the moments that you remember, good or bad, kind of where you guys had to like pull together or where you were like feeling that connection? Because
Yeah.
I know not everything went smoothly on a crazy
No.
trip like that. Like, there's no way.
So I think the biggest one that sticks out the most is the laundry. So we got to one of the villas that we were staying at, and we got our room, and so we're up on like the third floor. And in Europe the stairs are like super tiny and they're really steep, and so we're like lugging our gear
Yeah.
up there. And we're sharing a room, and there's no AC and it's hot, and so we popped open the windows that are like above our bed in the roof.
Yeah.
So later on, all of our stuff just got wet because it rained. But the biggest thing was we ran up and we washed our clothes in the tub because there was a washer and dryer. For the first time, we had a washer and dryer. And so we were like, we're going to wash our stuff in the tub. We're going to wring it out really well. And we're going to go throw it in the dryer because everybody else is going to be fighting over the washer. So we just want to get our stuff in the dryer, get it drying. And then while everybody else is figuring out their lives, and then we'll go to the grocery store while it's drying. We'll come back, we'll put things away. So we put it all down there. And then we get a text while we're at the grocery store being like, you guys need to do something with your laundry. You didn't wring it out enough. Like, it's sopping wet. It's never going to dry in this dryer. Like, just everybody's upset at us. And so we're like, okay, just put it on top of the dryer and we will deal with it when we get back. Like, don't let it hold anybody else up. Like,
Hmm.
just, we will deal with it. It's totally fine. And we get back, and like as we're walking up to the villa, we can hear people over by the pool like talking about it and like just bitching and being
Eee.
rude about it. And so we were like, whatever. So we bring our stuff back out. It really wasn't that much more wet than if you took it out of a washer. And we took it upstairs and we just hung it to dry. We were like, it's fine. We just won't use the dryer. And we came to find out later, like after the trip, it wasn't us. The dryer didn't work for anybody, but not a single person told
No
us
one's gonna
that
go
it
back
wasn't
on
us.
that. Yeah.
No. And so we
Ugh.
know these people were like talking about us behind our back because we heard them, and I was just like, it just shows how much, like, all you had to do was put it on top of the washer and just be like, hey, your stuff's not drying.
But that's
And we would have
so
just handled it.
uncomfortable the whole rest of the time because
Right.
you're like, "Hello,
Yeah.
you are a jerk," and now I know. So
Right. Yeah. And so I think that was like the hardest thing for us to overcome with other people, but we
Mhm.
handled it really well as a team.
Yeah.
And so I think that was really important. And then it was nice to have her there because both could let off steam to each other instead of being those people that then talked bad about somebody else behind their back at that. Like, we didn't want it to build up that animosity even more. We didn't want to be part of that.
Well,
So I think
plus
that
you
was good.
had each other to, like, kind of rely on, like, if you're by yourself and you hear people talking about you, then the rest of the trip you're kind of just by yourself, and I don't know who
Yep.
I can trust, I don't know who I could talk to. Like, it's just kind of like an awkward vibe, right? Where at least where you had
Yeah.
Kat, you had somebody, like, regardless of whatever
Hmm.
these other jerks are gonna do in their lives, like, you had somebody, which is great.
Yeah, and then our other rule was like we stick together on everything. So Kat is gluten free, and so we went to find lunch one day, and we walked into a restaurant, and everybody sat down, and we got the menu, and there was absolutely nothing she could order. Like, all she could have is basically a green salad. And so we were just like, well, we're gonna go find other food, and Kat was like, no, stay here with everybody. And I was like, absolutely
No.
not.
Yeah.
Like, that's not gonna happen. You came with me. I'm sorry that they picked a place. They knew you had you. There were restaurants right down the road that you could have ate at. They knew and they didn't bother to ask, and so we're gonna go, and we're gonna go make sure that you get fed.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna let you wander the city by yourself. I know you're okay with it. I know you're an adult, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but that, I mean, shows a lot about your leadership too, is being willing to kind of like take care of your people and make
Yep.
sure everyone is provided for. That's the mom, right? That's
Yep, absolutely. And I can't, like, I'm not gonna expect them to, have my back if I don't have theirs either.
No, I love that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So that is a bad moment, quote unquote bad.
Hmm.
You guys had good ones. What was your
Yes.
favorite of the did you New York, Paris, Rome, London? Where was your like favorite pit stop?
I don't know. Oh, I love them all. One of my favorite things though is in London. Because we went on that trip and then we've gone back for another event since then. We went to Speakeasy in London, and
Ooh.
yeah, so nobody else went because everybody else was off doing stuff with the group. And so we decided to we did one day of photo shoots and then one day that was a down day, and the group went and explored where they wanted to explore. But Kat, when she was growing up, their family had a spot in London, so they went to London all the time. So she knows all of the places, and so she was like, "We have to go to the Speakeasy," and she took me to the Speakeasy, and you don't know the door is the door, and then you go in, and it's like the investigative kind of thing, and they're like, "Who are we investigating?" and asking all the questions, and I'm just like, "I don't know, because I don't do this." And Kat used to work on the Vegas Strip, so she's very like outgoing and like bubbly and acting and things like that, and just going. And it was so cool to see her in that environment, and then they like walk you through a bookcase, and you go sit down, and the space is done up really thematically and beautiful, and they bring you specialty drinks, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite. Like, we have to, every time we come now, we have to come here.
I have always
And
wanted to do something like that. And you've been to places they call speakeasies, but they're not like that. And I want that experience.
I get the name from her because she, every time I'm like, we're going to the Speakeasy, right? And she's like, yes. And then she's just in charge of reserving it.
But you guys each have your thing, right? Like she's in
Yeah.
charge of that, you're in charge of other stuff. And I love that with travel. That way you're not just like the one like carrying like the bulk of the whole itinerary. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds like you guys really balance each other out well,
Yep.
which
Yeah.
has translated over to your work, right?
Yeah, so we've just found that like with us planning Scotland, it was a lot of me being like, "Hey, like this is what we're wanting to do. Do you know of anything?" We One of the things we wanted to do for our clients is the clients that book the whole trip. We're doing one day where we're doing a castle and whiskey tour. And so I posted on my Facebook, and because I don't think Kat's gone to Scotland yet either. And so I was like, "Does anybody know of like a good place for a castle and whiskey tour in Scotland?" And she goes on and she comments and she's like, "Are you trying to take my job from me?" And so she comes into work the next day and she's got like a list of like 5 to 10 different places. And she's like, "Well, this one will work for this and this one for this. And like, what are you thinking?" And so she has really become the person that I'm like, "These are the things we want to do. Can you figure out where the
Yeah,
best places are?" Even stateside. Like if we go somewhere in the South and I'm like, "I want barbecue." Like, we don't have good barbecue in Washington. I want good
I
barbecue.
know.
She never lets me down. She always finds it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Where did I just have really good barbecue? Oh, this is so weird. I had really good barbecue in Nebraska last week. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I didn't see it coming, but like, thank God for that because it was so good.
And that's my every time we travel, that's my request. I'm like, I want barbecue. We went to New York, and I was like, I want barbecue, and she's like,
Oh.
you're not getting barbecue in New York, Ayla. And I was like,
You're like, well,
you can find
I
it.
might
You
be.
right? You should be able to find it.
You need
She's
to
like,
go out
not in New
to
York.
Nashville has good barbecue.
Yes.
I had some good barbecue in Little Rock, Arkansas. So, what advice would you give to someone who's going with a team or even just like a group of girls? Like, how do you just kind of let things happen organically, or do you try to like pick out people's like personalities and strengths ahead of time, or do you sort of just like go with it?
Yeah, so I think it's picking out their strengths and like their weaknesses, and understanding those and kind of navigating that. So we know like she has the spreadsheet for the trip. And so she has what we're doing every day, and like she knows I give her a general idea of what we want to do, and she's figuring out where we're doing those things and kind of writing a rough schedule for me. I am generally the one in charge of like booking everything. So sometimes Kat will send me stuff and then I'll book it, or I'll send her like Airbnb tends to be my choice because I need to know about lighting and the setup and things like that. So anything that has to do with like billing or communicating with clients or creating their like guides and stuff like that, I'll be in charge of that, and then she'll proof it for me. And then our makeup artist, she's in charge of making sure when she goes with us, making sure she has all of her gear together, making sure the schedule works for her because she's a single mom, so her schedule sometimes she'll fly in after us or before us or whatever. So she's got to figure that out. But then once we get going, it's kind of knowing how everybody works, and so we know like my husband when he goes, we have to, like, if we're going to a restaurant, we'll tell him, hey, we're going here, we've already checked, we know there's stuff you'll eat, there is meat on the menu. Like, there is stuff you will eat. Otherwise he just kind of gets flustered around food, because we've taken him once to a vegan gluten-free place and he was like, there's no meat. Like, what am I gonna
What are
eat?
these words? What am I
Right.
doing?
There's a mushroom burger. So like we kind of know, like, we know everybody's little things, right? So his has to do with food. Like, we need to make sure that he understands that there is going to be food that he likes. My thing is timeliness. Like, I cannot settle until we're at the gate. So I will book it, and I know that Kat will kind of walk with Jessica sometimes if I'm walking too fast to the gate, but I cannot settle until I'm at the gate. I can't settle until we're at the Airbnb. Like, until we're at that place, my brain is on fire.
Yeah.
And so you learn those little things about each person and kind of like become okay with them,
Right.
if that makes sense. Because for a long time, I think Jessica probably felt like she had to keep up with us when we're like booking it through the airport. And unless it's an emergency, I'm just like, we will meet you at the gate.
Yeah. You
So
just
you
want
kind
to
of
see
just
the gate,
learn.
verify that it's there, and like
Our
yeah.
plane's still at that spot.
Yes.
Yeah, even if it's like 2 hours early, and we've gotten the team pre-check because it's easier. My husband didn't have it for a while, and so then we had to like navigate. Okay, Ayla has the gear through security because our lights, like our big strobes, like they have so many wires and batteries and stuff, like they look suspicious on
Little
the scans.
sketchy. Yeah.
And unfortunately, because of how my husband looks, he always gets secondary scanned at the
Ugh,
airport every single time. Like, I've watched him go through security and then have him pull his pockets inside out 3 times.
insane.
Um, so anytime there's stuff that, like, if he doesn't have his pre-check and he's not with us, then I'll take the complicated stuff and he takes the easier stuff, or we
Right.
take as much as we can from him. So you learn those little things because I know security is stressful for him. You learn those little things that you would know about your spouse, but then you learn that for your employees, or like the girls that you're going on the trip with too,
Mhm.
knowing those things ahead of time and having that open communication, like what stresses you, or like learning those things about people, I think would make the trip go much smoother for people.
Yeah, and I
And
think
sometimes
it's
conversation.
learning those little quirks and then giving the people grace too, right? Like, because
Mm-hmm.
we all have our weird things. I'll make a confession. My weird thing is I will not set an alarm or get out of bed on an even number or on a number ending in 5, and I can't tell you why, but I just do. So if I set my
Yeah.
alarm, it's like 7:33 or 7:37, and like literally that's all that's happening. So my friend Shelly, the first time we went on a trip, she's like, "Okay, I set the alarm for 6:35," and I was like,
You
"Can't
can't do
do
it.
that." And she's like, "What the hell do you mean I can't do that?" I'm like, "Can you just make it 6:37?" And she said, "What?" And she was just like, "Explain to me why." And I was like, "I can't. I just will not get up on 35." And so she was like, um, okay. But she went with it. And then, like, the second trip, I happened to glance down at her while she was setting her alarms for the next day, and they were all like 3s and 7s. And I was just like, ah, my girl.
Oh,
And she goes,
yes.
I want you to know I do not do this at home. I don't even think about it till we're gone together, but I will set my alarm for you on a weird number. I'm like,
Yes.
yes. So it's just like those little things. So now she doesn't question me. I know she still secretly judges me, which is fine. I don't care. But because I get that it's weird.
Like me with the volume, it has to be on an even number.
See? Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just the way it is, and I don't want to
Yes.
talk about it. And just do it. Just do
Yes.
it. Isn't that funny? Like, I don't even remember where that started or how, but it just seems like wrong to do it any other way. And so,
Yeah.
even though that's a
Love
small
that.
example and like she can technically get up whatever time she wants, the fact that you find a travel partner who like knows that, even though she doesn't understand it, is willing to like give that moment of peace to me so I don't have a weird anxiety like thing first thing in the morning, because it
Mhm.
does, it just like sets me off in like a weird vibe, and who
Yeah.
needs a
And
weird
then the
vibe
rest of
when
the
you're
day is
traveling?
not what you want. Yeah.
Yeah, so I love that so much.
Oh, that's amazing.
um there is a hotel that you refuse to talk about. Can we talk about it?
We this was on that same trip. So on our way back from New York,
Okay.
we just needed to sleep for like I don't think we got there till like 7 at night, and then we were flying out semi early in the morning, so we weren't even gonna stay till checkout. And so I booked the hotel. It was not in the best neighborhood, but we found some good places to eat. But we get there and we get in the elevator, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these people are on drugs.
Oh,
They're totally on drugs. Like they are whacked out, like like the bone skinny with all of the like markings. Like they are
yeah.
on. They
They
are
were
on some
in the
heavy
elevator with
stuff.
you?
They were in the elevator, and I was like, okay, so they're staying here, okay. And we get into the room, and there's tissue like sticking out from underneath the bed, and just like it's just like little things that aren't clean, right? And there was something with the phone. I don't remember what was up with the phone. Maybe there was something by the phone. I don't remember. But then we lay down, and like 10 o'clock at night we just hear this banging, just like bang every once in a while, bang. And we don't realize it till the next morning. There's a gym on the next floor, like not even the gym for the hotel, like a full gym with
Stop.
like you would have a membership for it, gym. Yeah. And so we didn't realize till we left, and we looked up that there was this gym here, and I was like, that's what people dropping their weights. That's what we were all night, because it was a 24-hour gym. That's what we were hearing. But what got us to leave at 6 in the morning and go to the airport so early was because I woke up once in the middle of the night feeling something crawling on me. And then when I was like, I brushed it off, not a big deal, went back to bed, woke up again, there were ants in my bed.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I cannot. And then trying to get them to do anything about it, like they would not respond to me downstairs. They wouldn't respond to me via email or calling. They just kind of like pushed me through. And so I finally was like, that's fine. I have Amex. I'll just call it Amex. And I got a refund within 2 hours because I had so many pictures and
Yeah.
stuff. But I was like, this is the worst experience I think I've ever had at a hotel. You're just,
I could not. Once you feel a bug on you, like, how
mm-hmm.
do you even relax again afterwards? Like, it just,
Yeah.
I can feel it right now. That's terrible.
And so, like, I mean, we've stayed in places. There's some questionable places in Washington that we've gone to like do beach shoots at, and so there's not really a good place. I
Not
can't
a lot
remember
of
where we
choices.
stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were there, and we are like, these people are like question, like we're not sure about this hotel. But like once you were in the room, it wasn't bad. It was just like don't let the kids wander kind of thing. But we've never had one where we were like, this is not good. Or like the weights was the bit. I was like, between the weights and the ants in the bed, I was like, there. I sat up and was like, we're leaving right now.
Yeah,
And she's
we're
like,
not
what is
doing this.
going on? And I was like, we are leaving.
I've only ever left one hotel, and it was in Washington, and it was for bugs. And we checked in, and it was supposed to be like this old, like historic, charming hotel, right? So I'm like not
Mhm.
expecting Four Seasons, right? Like I know where we're at in the country. Like it's up in like Winthrop area. So like we had been like
Mhm.
at North Cascades, and we were gonna drive through down. And so I was like, okay, it's like historic, it's whatever. Like I don't expect it to be nice, quote unquote, but I do expect it to be clean. And so we go in there, and there are bugs
Mm.
everywhere. And I mean like cockroaches.
Yep. Nope.
And like on
Oh,
the
in Washington?
windows. Yes.
Okay, we don't get those often.
No. And it was
Oof.
like up in the like, and there were just so I like go downstairs, and I'm like, so there are bugs in my room. And he's like, oh, maybe someone left the window open. I was like,
No, sir.
I don't really think so. And
Mhm.
so he's like, let me come up and like kill them for you. And I was like, whatever. So he comes up, and he like looks around and like acts like it's no big deal. And I'm like, So I'm like, I'm just going to try to take a shower. Like I sat on the bed, and I was like, I don't even feel comfortable just sitting here. Went to take a shower, moved the towel, and there was like a bug in the towel. And I was like, nope,
Nope.
like I can't do
Done.
it. And he's like,
Yep.
well, I don't know if we're allowed to give refunds. I'm like, I don't even care. Like I literally could not
Yeah.
stay here. So then we were, because it was like Labor Day weekend, and there was no place to stay there, because there's only like two hotels in this whole town.
Yeah.
We ended up by driving like 3.5 hours, like to like Wenatchee or somewhere like past Chelan. There was no place. I mean, we drove until like 2 in the morning to find another place to stay, because I was like,
Yeah.
I can't do the bugs. Like I can't
No.
do, like, even we were in this like nice hotel finally, I just still felt like so terrible and
Dirty.
gross. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a vacation ruiner, like
Well, and
literally.
we had we had one in our second trip to London. We went to London and we booked kind of like an Airbnb, but it was on hotels.com, which is my first mistake, by the way. Never doing that again.
For real.
Um, and so I think they owned like the whole building and then they rented out the
Units
apartments
like
like
separately.
hotel rooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we booked it really far ahead of time. And then a couple months beforehand, my makeup artist was like looking at it. She's looking at the reviews and she's like, Ayla, did you not read these? Because this definitely talks about bed bugs. And I was like, it didn't when I booked it. Like, okay, like I guess hopefully they dealt with it. Like, well, it's been a few months, like it'll be okay, we'll figure it out. So we went and it was in a really cute area and there was stuff walking distance from us. Like my we got in there, put our bags down. My husband wanted to take a nap, so he laid down and we went to get drinks and he called us. Like we'd just gotten our drinks. He called us and he's like, we have to leave. He's like, I just got bit. And I was like, so like we're in London with no other plan, having to find a Hilton somewhere to stay in.
Yeah.
And we get like we had to go the opposite direction. Now we're not near anything we can walk to really because we didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money last minute. And we get there and we're like, please just tell us it's clean. And we told them what happened and they're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. They like gave us an upgrade. We're like, I'm so I can't. It just once you get any kind of bug, it just I can't do it.
I know. It just, yeah, it's one of those things. Even like if you see one on TV, like we were watching Hoarders the other day, which I don't know why
Oh
I
God.
do that to myself, but there was bugs all over this house. And
Yeah.
like I'm sitting on my couch, like rubbing my arms and like
Yes.
just because it's like, woo. But I
Yeah.
think the point is travel's never perfect, right? There's always something. And I think that who you travel with or your attitude going into it really can shape that
Yeah.
because those all could have been complete disasters. Like
Yeah.
your husband could have like been so pissy about it and like ruined the whole rest of your vacation.
Yes.
You could have like had a complete meltdown. But you didn't. Or you know, you and Kat could have like cried about the laundry thing for the whole trip. But now instead you're just like, we were tougher, like we're
Yeah.
closer, we got it through it. And I think that's the point of travel is it really builds you up in ways that sometimes you don't know you need.
And then you learn so much.
And carry it forward, right? Like
Yeah.
there's those lessons that you learn traveling that you can apply to being a mom or being a business
Mhm.
owner or being a boss or a friend.
Mhm.
And just learning those little things. Like I guess I learn a lot about myself with travel, which helps me give grace to other people
Mhm.
because sometimes I really want things my own way, like for no reason. I'm just like a control freak sometimes.
Yep.
And my husband's more just like, yeah, whatever. Like everything's cool. It'll all just work out. And I'm like, okay, then we're just going to do it my way. Then if you don't care, I don't, I'm just doing it my way. But then
Yep.
I realized like that there are things he would prefer or that maybe like my friends would prefer, but they just don't pitch a fit about it. But I can give that to them because I know there's
Yes.
things that are important to me too. So I think that when you just realize like, I didn't know that waking up to odd numbers was weird, but
Mhm.
apparently people don't do that. So I have weird things and other people have weird things. So it helps you
Yeah.
like kind of see their things as not an inconvenience or not weird. I don't know how to exactly say what I'm
Well,
trying to
and
say, but
sometimes that helps you too. So like the hotel or the Airbnb or whatever in London, if we had forced my husband to go get drinks with us, then we all would have been asleep when stuff happened and it would have been
right.
later in the day because we were like, no, you have to stay awake. You have to stay awake so that you get on the schedule here. And he's like, no, I really just need a nap. And so like sometimes those little things that bother you actually end up helping you.
Yes.
And so just let people kind of their little things as long as it's not hurting anybody and you're kind of working together. Like he didn't have to go with us. We went and got drinks. It's fine.
Right. And it worked out
Yeah.
for the best because like you
Right.
said, otherwise it could have been you getting bit.
Yeah. Yeah. He took one for the team.
And instead you had a
Uh,
drink to bring your nerves down when he told you
yeah.
about the bugs. It was all
Yep.
great.
So and I think that's the big thing is learning everybody's little quirks and trying to accommodate them the best you can and then keeping track of those for later and then learning how those can help you. Um, and like Kat with her gluten, like now we like she's in charge of figuring out food because then she can look for her gluten stuff and things like that. So you kind of learn and divvy things up based on strengths again.
And that's empowering her too to kind of take control of her own, you know, schedule and her own issue there but then teaching you guys about it too, because I don't travel with someone who's gluten free. I wouldn't know where to begin. Like, it wouldn't occur to me until we were in that situation, you know,
Hmm.
that that would happen. Like, I know if I go with people who don't drink, I'm not going to book, the Jameson tour or the whiskeys
Yep.
or whatever. But that's because someone has to tell you that, and then you have to
Yep.
incorporate that into. So I think that's another thing, that by traveling with different people, you just learn about different lifestyles too, and you learn about new things. I have one friend who is vegan, and she made me have vegan pizza with like vegan cheese. And I was like, this seems not okay, but whatever. You're here and I want to make you happy. That was the best dang pizza I have ever had. I'll tell you what.
Right.
But I would have
Yeah.
never ordered it. I would have never even given it a shot if it wasn't for Robin being like, just have the pizza. And I was like, all
Just
right.
try.
And it was so
Yeah.
good. It was so
Yeah.
good. So,
Yep.
yeah,
And I think just that's what everything's taught me is just that you can't, if you stay in your own little bubble, you can't experience all the things. And so bringing your people with you and learning their stuff and letting them have input and things, like, you experience so much more and you learn so much more. And I think you get more in depth on things and your experience is just so much better.
I love that. That's such a good tip.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, thank you for hanging out with us today and telling us about
Yeah.
that. I want you to tell people where they can find you. Can we follow you on Instagram? Do you have a site? Tell us all about that.
Yeah. So I have three, but my main one is Ayla Quellhorst, which I'm sure my name will be in the show notes.
Yes, I'll put the link in there too. I just
Okay, perfect. It's just aylaquellhorst.com. That's my boudoir studio. So if boudoir is not something people want to look at, I have Studio Q. It's just studioque.com, and that's my family studio. But you can search any of those, and our social media and stuff should pop up as well.
Very
But yeah,
cool.
we do tons of different trips and things like that. We're doing the Scotland one's already booked, and then we have Tulum for 2027. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah,
So let's talk about boudoir for a minute, because this is going to be
yeah,
slightly off of the travel topic, but I think it will fit well into women empowering themselves,
hmm,
right? Because
yeah,
that is such a vulnerable idea. I haven't done it.
yes.
I've seen people do it, and I think it's so beautiful. How do you, as a photographer, help women kind of get past that initial, like, ooh, I don't know? And how do you see them kind of change through that process from the beginning, when they get to your studio, to they walk out with those prints?
Yeah, so we like the biggest thing for our studio is that we it's gonna sound really weird to say, we aren't like super duper professional when the client's here. We want our clients to feel like they're just hanging out with girlfriends.
Yeah,
And so we have them, I start with a phone consultation with everybody. You can't get on my books unless you do a phone call with me because I want to make sure it's such an intimate experience. If I'm not a good fit for you, like I can refer you to somebody else.
sure.
So I always insist on those. And then, which really helps us find the right people that are coming into our studio. And then once they're here, we do hair and makeup here at the studio because my cosmetologist is full time for me. She's not hired just on, like, she's in the other room right now working.
Okay.
She's not hired just when I'm doing photo shoots. And she spends an hour and a half doing hair and makeup with them. And I sit in hair and makeup and I'll crochet while they're doing hair and makeup. So we have that girl time. And literally, like, if the client's coming in because she just got out of like a nasty marriage, like she will just let that all
Dump
out.
all
Or if
that
she's
out.
getting
Yeah.
married, yeah, we talk about her wedding if she's getting married. Like whatever she needs, like it is that girl time. And then uh we kind of carry that through the whole thing. So when we're shooting and stuff like that, my husband sometimes, if the client will let me, which most of the time they will because he sits in hair and makeup too, they'll let him help me shoot, which is great because I'm kind of awkward socially sometimes. And so he will learn things in hair and makeup that he'll bring into the photo shoot and then like kind of pick on them a little bit, like we all do. And then the clients will pick on us back. Like they've gotten to know us to a point where everybody's just kind of like
And it kind
that
of just
friendship
lowers that
level.
anxiety. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And we're just like, oh, he'll pick up like shows that they watch that we like. And then I'll be like, hey, I need a joke to make her smile. And he'll say some random line from the show that they talked about in hair and makeup. And so we're just carrying that all the way through the whole shoot. And Kat is my product advisor. So she shows them their pictures and helps them pick out their prints. And I'll hear her back in that room sometimes tell people, like, no, you can't pick that one. You have to pick this one because your booty looks fantastic. Like she will just be so blunt with people.
Yeah.
And so we're just carrying that, like, we are your hype girl best friend through everything because that's really what the experience should be. where I know like other studios will do that, but I know a lot of studios they just want to be, very put together and very professional. And yes, we want to be professional too, but I feel like those barriers break down more when you're hanging out with people that you trust and like
Absolutely.
people that you would hang out with anyways. And so
Yeah.
we want clients to feel that.
That's amazing. But I think that women, we're so hard on ourselves, right? And
Hmm.
so just hearing someone else be like, dang, girl, your butt looks great in that picture. And you're
Yes.
like, oh, does it? Okay, cool. Like that just
Yeah.
brings you so much farther out of yourself. And like you said, being in such a vulnerable and intimate situation, I love that so much. I think that
Yeah.
that kind of photography is excellent for women's empowerment. I
Yeah.
love that you do that.
When I went to the dentist the other day. This is a little off topic, but I went to the dentist the other day, and she like kind of did some stuff in my with my teeth, and then she was waiting for the doctor, and she's like, "I just want to tell you, you're like really pretty." And I was like, "I'm sorry, you were just up in my mouth telling me I need to floss more." Like, but it was such a confidence boost, and I'm like, that's how I want people to feel when they leave the studio.
Yeah.
Whether or not you buy a big package or not, and we try to keep our pricing lower than I know what the industry standards are so that we're more accessible for people, because I know that experience is what, like, that time here is
Yep.
what's more important than that final product. The final product's great because you can go back and look at it and remember it, but really the way people come in and they're kind of shy and quiet when they start hair and makeup to when they're leaving, they're like laughing and outgoing and like their personality really comes out. That's what we're wanting.
And that's what's beautiful too. And I think that makes the photos more beautiful too,
Mm-hmm.
when they can be themselves and see that inner part of themselves that they might have forgotten about or not even known. I mean, that's
And
incredible.
and you can see it in the pictures too. Like I have a very specific pose that I start with for my first pose because it's the easiest one and it's like my throwaway pose. So it's the one that like sometimes people will order it, sometimes they won't. It's super easy. But then I'm gonna like the more challenging poses are at the end because I want them to warm up to. And we always when we pick out outfits, I'm like, which one are you most comfortable and confident in? Okay, that's the one we're starting with
Yeah.
because I want to start with that. And then the one that's most outside your comfort zone is the one we're gonna end with because you have that time to warm up. So for wardrobe, sometimes client will bring their own, and then sometimes we have a closet. I have like 700 items, so
Oh my
sometimes they'll
gosh.
just pick from mine.
Yeah.
It just kind of
That's so
depends.
cool. What a cool
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Something that I've thought about doing, but it's been too scary for me. So I should suck it up.
Well, when you're ready, now you know that we're here
I know. And we're close by each
nearby.
other. That's crazy.
Yeah, it'll be
So
perfect.
for everyone
Or I mean,
listening
we
that wants
travel,
to do
so
it, Ayla's in Washington State. So I know we've got
yeah.
lots of listeners here too. So you guys can hit her up. But that was a little off topic from travel, but I do think it fits in well. And so I'm glad that we brought that up because I think
Yes.
it's just another aspect of learning to love yourself and learning to put yourself out there and really just kind of embracing, who you are and going with it. So thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that.
Of course. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. So I'll drop all of Ayla's links in the description there, and you can all follow her and reach out if you need anything from her. But thanks again for sharing your experiences with us. And it was so good to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Take care.
Right, you too.